Oh yeah, we brought it back. We brought it back. We got real money on the show, so we had to bring back the theme song. We had to bring it back. Here it is. Welcome to the Rip 28 podcast. This is the Rip 28 podcast. This is the podcast where a few friends get together and we talk about a few things. Now, some of those things you might like, some of those things you might not like, but we keep on talking about them on the Rip 28 podcast. I am Sly the Sports Guy, better known as the world's sexiest podcast host. I'm joined by a few of my good friends. As always, we start off with, well, I guess it's about over with, but he'll be Mr. Baseball for one more day. Your favorite teacher's favorite teacher. What's going on, Beezy the Goat?
It's your boy, the one and only Beezy the Goat, a.k.a. I guess I'm your favorite teacher's favorite teacher now, because school is about in.
Uh-oh.
So I am your favorite teacher's favorite teacher, man. Coming to get me another an award this year. See if I can make it 3 and 4 years. You did.
Well, for those who don't know.
Here we go. Here go the hate.
LBZ was the teacher of the year. But he had an asterisk by it, though. It was a COVID shortened year, so it's so I don't know if we can give him full credit. But
he be your own people.
He was voted on by his peers as the teacher of the year. Now, I like to say we have our richest friend. She is very rich. She's very rich because you guys are wondering why we're starting at 7:53 Eastern Time when we usually start at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Well, our friend Sunday Fun Day, just got back off the yacht in the Boston Harbor, pulled the yacht in the Boston Harbor, pulled up. She was going to do the show live from her yacht, but she decided to take the helicopter on in and stop at the Cobb Estates and do the podcast from the Cobb Estates. What's going on, S. Commas?
What's up, everybody but Sly? How we doing out there tonight?
Why I gotta be but Sly? That is just so rude. But you. That is so rude. Well, we have a friend of the show, making a return appearance, making his yearly return appearance. What up there? Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. We got to stop for a second. Before we can introduce you. Our official legal counsel, all of her black excellence, D. Nicole Bates Davis, just stopped in to say hello to us. We always have to recognize her when she stops in and says hello. But
leave me alone. Leave me alone. Thank you, girl.
Back to where we were. We have a friend of the show coming back to the show, the one and only Mr. Steven Starks. And now, we always say that Cobb is rich. We always say Cobb is our richest friend. We found somebody who might be battling Cobb for our richest friend.
Come on now.
I'm telling you how rich our friend is. Our friend is so rich. If you didn't notice, he played the theme music. We had to stop playing the theme music because we had to pay to play it every time. But when Starks said he was coming on, he said, "Man, don't worry about that. It ain't nothing.
I got you.
And money is cheap."
I got you. If that were only true, man. Good to see y'all. Y'all looking great. I'm happy to be back. Second time on the pod. I'm ready to do it, man. I got high energy, and I'm ready to contribute any way y'all see fit, man. Thanks for having me.
We are glad to have you back, Starks. We're glad to have you back.
That's a rich answer. Right there. Just, however you need me. Money doesn't matter. No object. Money ain't a thing.
That's that Texas oil money right now.
Texas oil money.
As long as I've known you, you're gonna help them out. Come on.
My bad.
No. Real, man. You saw he just took a sip of his that very expensive not that we drank that yak, he drank that cognac.
I gotta keep the teeth white. You know what I mean? It's that expensive alcohol.
There it is, man.
I don't drink, man. I'm just playing. You know what I mean? That's just water. That's just water, man.
He on the way. He on the way.
It's a lot going on out in the world, man. A lot of stuff happening out there. First off,
Shout
you
out to
guys,
Shiloh.
huh?
Shout out to Shiloh watching.
Oh, appreciate checking us out. Appreciate checking us out, man. Gotta do a condolence. Oh, wait a minute. D. Nicole Bates Davis said, "Can I get a loan?" This the person who's been posting all week of her in a pool, swimming, and dogs looking on. Nah, we asking D. Nicole Bates Davis.
all the dogs. My girl,
All
though. My girl.
There you go. But yeah, man, we gotta give our condolences, man. Just passed away. Not quite sure. Maybe y'all can help me. What really happened? They say he was swimming, trying to save his daughter, or what? But Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away, man. Theo Huxtable went on up the story, man. So sad to hear that. Sad to hear that, man. And other than that, that's about all I care about who died.
Nobody else.
Nobody else, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, they died too, but we ain't mourning them.
Nah, we ain't mourning. I'm gonna save my RIPs.
Not even an American hero.
Yeah, I'm gonna save my RIPs. Someone.
He wasn't no American hero.
So y'all weren't fans as children.
Honestly, no, I was not.
See,
I was a Steam fan.
I feel like you can separate someone's iconic status in their respective craft from maybe how you feel about them as a person. And I feel like there's space for that, right? Like I feel like you can. It's why athletes and entertainers rarely let me down, because I'm usually not so interested or concerned about the latter, right? I look at folks for what they do on the stage or the field of play, right? I think you can look at R. Kelly and say one of your favorite musicians, but then also say you just don't appreciate him as a person. And so I wonder if there's room for us to think about kind of like how we separate the way we think about, you can like the person for what they do and how you knew them, but not as the way they carry themselves outside of whatever venue you know them for. What y'all think about that?
Starks, that's crazy, because I just had this conversation with somebody about separating the art from the artist, and specifically in reference to the Cosby Show. And I said, Cosby Show comes on in the mornings on TV One. I still watch it because it's legitimately funny.
Right.
And it was the first time we saw a Black family that was well off. The mom, the dad, the kid. They weren't perfect kids. And it felt like us. And it felt like, just good Black folk on TV. And I feel like that was the first time that America was introduced to just a well-off Black family with kids who were just struggling like everybody else, but they didn't seem Black, and they came across it. I was telling someone, I said, I've learned to separate the art from the artist. And so while Bill Cosby was convicted for what he was convicted for, and he was who he was, I can still appreciate the art. I don't know why it's different from me with a racist. Like, for some reason with me, it's like, I am not going to even recognize. I used to watch your Saturday morning cartoons. Like, that was, I legit remember watching the wrestling cartoon and, getting into Hulkamania. This dude was a racist. And I was like, I draw a line there. Like, I can't separate the art from the artist. And I know that's skewed.
No,
I can't get past.
No, I think, Cobb, I don't think it's skewed. I think it's personal to everybody, right? And again, I think you feel how you feel, and no one should ever apologize for their feelings, right? And so I'm not suggesting that you have to go out of your way to celebrate somebody that you consider to be a racist or that is a racist at all. You don't owe him that, right? What I'm saying though is, for those that do want to and maybe are afraid because of how they might be perceived, I think there's room for the conversation. I'm with you. Like, I don't have to go out of my way to say anything about him, even though growing up, I was a fan, right? I just, that was then, this is now, so I don't have to do that. But I'm seeing a lot of people that feel conflicted. And so I'm just kind of, teeing up the conversation for, maybe there's two ways to think about it. But I'm kind of where you're at.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with that too. You know, it's personal to you in different ways. It make you feel a different way. Everybody's not gonna feel the same. I just feel like I'm not gonna go out my way and make no special post about it, but I'm not gonna be disrespectful at the same time, because at the same
Same.
time, that was somebody's family member. Somebody did love him. So,
Exactly.
you
Fuck
know,
'em.
well, that's another way to look at it too. Because it's personal to Sly. We can't tell Sly how to feel. So Sly, you have to feel the way you feel, my brother. But I do understand and respect that point of view starts in Cobb, that, you know, I won't go out of my way to,
Exactly.
you know, be like, hey, I'm the Hulkamaniac and all of that. But I'm not gonna go out my way to be disrespectful, blatantly disrespectful, because,
Exactly.
you know, I put myself there. If it
It's
was,
still someone who lost their life.
yeah,
Yeah.
somebody lost their life and it was somebody's family member, whether I agree with what he said or not. You know, I ain't no
Yeah.
6'10" black Negro playing basketball or football either. So, you
Rich.
know, rich. Yeah, you got to put that rich in the front. Rich. 6'10",
Yo,
6'9" black Negro.
shout out to RD, Razzie checking us out, Algernon out
RD,
there. We
what up?
appreciate y'all out there checking us out. Hey man, and I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm a walking contradiction. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Shout out to Joe Tucker. We see Joe sending some stars.
Joe.
Shout
Yes,
out to
Hey,
Joe
stars.
sending
Joe,
stars.
we waiting on our new theme song from you, Joe. What up
Yeah,
with that?
we need a
Joe say
theme
he
song
busy.
from
Joe
Joe.
say you better take these stars and be happy.
Joe said, F you, pay me.
Hey,
Pay me my
speaking of
money.
Joe about to release his single in August. Joe, if you can put it in the chat, what's your single gonna be? I know he's gonna release a new single in August, but
Joe make baby making music. We
but
can't.
well, yeah, man. You know, I'm a walking contradiction. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because to me, once I heard what Hulk Hogan said and how Hulk Hogan felt on multiple occasions, it wasn't just one time, multiple occasions, he let you know how he felt about black folk. For me, it was forever fuck 'em. You know, forever with a bar by his dick. You know, but
Woo.
R.
Damn.
Kelly, on the other hand, I just listened to some R. Kelly yesterday. I listened to R. Kelly yesterday, you know. Hey man, R. Kelly. Matter of fact, R. Kelly did a tribute song to Malcolm Jamal Warner. He just did a little tribute song to Malcolm Jamal Warner. He
Well,
put
that
it
was
out there.
fast. Boy, that's fast. That's
Who,
The
fast there,
boy
I
Cobb.
listened
good.
to it. I
who
listened to
called
it.
him collect? Who called him collect to get that released?
Hey, it's
Hey
clear
man,
too, Kyle. It's clear. You ought to hear it. Yeah, it's clear. I heard it.
it
Yeah.
it sound good. But you got to think, man, he ain't got nothing else to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
true.
He ain't got
Look
nothing
at
else to do.
Cobb.
So all he can do is go ahead and make some music. So, but yeah, man, I'm a walking contradiction, man. I'm not gonna lie. I listen to R. Kelly, but I'll never fuck with Hulk Hogan again. So hey, it is what it is, man.
But were you a
But
Hulkamaniac when you were younger, Sly?
and one thing I think is easy for me to be that way is because I was never a Hulkamaniac. I was
See,
more
me
of a
was that.
National Wrestling Alliance fan. I was you know, I didn't watch WWF because you had to have cable to watch WWF.
NWA came on regular TV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
NWA, they came to the Township Auditorium. You know, you could watch NWA, and then when I would go to Atlanta for the summer, stay with my cousins, you know, we could go and watch them wrestle for free. So I was always
Oh,
a Ric Flair fan. So
oh, you was poor. Like I didn't know that. Like you like I thought you was playing when you be saying. Like you mean? Oh, okay. I understand.
you know, hey, it, you know,
Look,
all of us weren't rich folk. All of us weren't rich folk.
No,
Cards,
I got it.
cards,
But
cards.
what's up?
Was.
Still am.
Uh-huh.
Still
Wow.
am.
Sly, be your own people, man.
He
Hey,
talking
But
that
about
shit.
yeah, came. I'm like, oh man.
but here,
Hey,
but
hey,
here's the
God,
thing, man. You know,
I got
all of
blacked
us.
out for a minute. I got blacked out for a minute. I did these little internal thoughts and prayers. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, boy. Dang,
Oh,
All right, y'all give it up for stars.
Man,
This is last time
Adrian,
being
explains
on
a whole lot.
What you say,
Adrian, do
Ron?
not encourage this. Do
I
not
said,
encourage any of this stuff.
I said, y'all give it up for starts because this might be his last time being on here. Y'all give it up for starts. Give it up for starts.
Hey, look here. Pepe might not send him the invite back. Our producer Pepe.
No, sir.
First of
He
all,
might
Pepe
not.
might not be in the, Pepe might not be in the country, so
Oh,
he
wait a minute. More money out there. It take the richest friend we got out there, Nicole Bates Davis, sending more stars. We appreciate it. We
AKA Miss
appreciate
Black Excellence. AKA Miss Black Excellence.
Black
We
excellence.
appreciate
We
you.
appreciate you.
we appreciate it. We appreciate the black excellence. We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Have we found out what we do with them stars yet? we
don't even know what exactly we do.
We ain't got no money from the stars. Let's be clear.
We got
You notice our
our
president ain't been back, so that might be where our money for the
Or
stars.
maybe our president ran off with the stars.
Hey, that'll be we done ran off on the plug twice.
And look, don't y'all ask about our president no more. I don't want no more messages asking where he is. I don't want no text asking if we kicked him off the show. No, he's still here behind the scenes.
Give him 10 minutes, he'll pop up just out of nowhere.
He'll be in the chat. He'll be in the chat.
Guy. He's just a random guy.
No, Aaron's a random guy.
No, I feel like Nesbitt is, and at least make himself known. That fool just pop up.
Oh, what happened? We still out there? Hello?
Hello?
Yo.
Yeah. Okay, my bad. We still here. I don't know what happened on that one.
Hey,
but
there go that joker.
That's why I'm calling ice on Pepe right there.
Don't blame Pepe for that.
Pepe ain't gonna be out there. What they call it? What he been calling them camps?
Alligator Alcatraz.
Pepe ain't gonna be out there. Alligator Alcatraz.
Boy, he got one more mess up, ain't he? He gonna be right out there. Y'all wrong.
Y'all gonna leave my producer alone, man. Y'all gonna leave my producer alone. But
leave your mama phone alone. What's wrong with you? Messiah, this is not Adrian typing. This is little LeBron.
Wait a minute.
What the folks say? Stand in a child's place.
Wait a minute, Messiah. Hey, shout out to Messiah for his for competing in nationals this past week over the weekend in track and field. Shout out to you, little LeBron.
But hey, man, let's get back on track, man. This is a professional podcast, and y'all making us look bad from starts. Y'all making us look bad from the start.
Stocks made you look bad by talking about your cable, and you gonna back up Stocks.
We are
Stocks and cut on you about your darn cable.
I just felt bad for
your
own
people.
Mid-podcast, I'm like, man, my bro was going through it.
I thought he was playing by that.
You know what I'm saying, Kyle? There you go.
It wasn't no joke.
We got a listen. We gonna get this thing back on track, man. We had something go down in the RIP 28 podcast page, podcast group page, RIP 28 podcast group page. They asked the question: are we raising our kids soft? And what up, Tina? But one of the reasons we asked that is because we got a letter. We got a letter from one of our listeners. We got a letter from one of our listeners, and they had some questions about our raising his kid. Who want to read?
I got you.
Okay. Well, read.
What up, people? I have a slight issue. Hopefully, y'all can help me out. I'm a married man with 3 kids. My wife and I are pretty successful people. We are kind of the modern day Huxtables. I'm a dentist and my wife is a family law attorney. We live in a really comfortable life. But my problem is my kids. Well, one of them. My 10-year-old son's a pretty good basketball player. Well, I think he's pretty good. His only competition is against the kids around here, a bunch of suburb white kids. He says he wants to get serious about his game. So I figured if he wants to get better, he needs to play better comp. I figured I need to take him to the hood. I signed him up to play ball at my old neighborhood park. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I'm from the projects. I grew up dirt poor, and my hood is still bad. But hell, my kids need to toughen up a little bit. When he came home after his first practice, my wife hit the ceiling. She was not pleased at all. She keeps saying I put my kid in danger, but I was at the practice the whole time. She says he shouldn't be in that environment. She is born and raised in the suburbs. I think that it's good for him to see what his blessings really are. What say y'all? Am I wrong for taking him there, or is she tripping?
Well, we're gonna let our guest go first because what you don't know about our guest is actually a retired basketball player, probably one of the what are you 1,500 point score, 2,000 point score in your
Be
career?
clear. Be clear. Indiana top 50 all time.
Nobody. There y'all go with that.
Indiana top
Indiana
50
top
all
50
time.
all time.
The
No.
Hoopy
All
50th
State.
anniversary team.
Y'all
Be
He
are
clear.
right
making
there with
stuff up.
Ladberg. He won
Y'all
that
making
below
stuff up.
Ladberg.
Y'all making
Larry
stuff up.
Bird, then Starks. Right
Here
there.
we go. Here we go. Y'all making stuff up. But no, I had a
right
nice
there.
little run. Appreciate the acknowledgement.
He
But
said that in a nice little run.
nice little run. I'm an old head now, but I put it through the hoop a few times. You know what I mean? All right, I'll kick it off. What I'll say about this is, you know, I think all sports dads. That's the group I can speak for. You know what I mean? We go through this. You know, we work hard to make sure our kids come up a certain way and have certain opportunities. And the trade off for that is that sometimes you feel like they've got it too good, and you put them in situations where when they do things, maybe even things that all kids do, sometimes you question whether they're being raised too softly. And so that definitely kind of manifests itself most in sport. My kids are basketball kids. My son just had a tournament this weekend, and they played up, and they played kids that were not suburb kids, right? And so they competed well, but you do see elements of like, man, I think that we're just getting bullied a little bit, and we're just not used to that. So the way I think about it is, it's my job to do what my parents did an excellent job of, and that's expose my kids to all type of elements when it comes to athletics. And so I want them competing against the kids that really get it done, and that requires you to take them and put them in environments that are different than how you raise them and where they grow up. So I think it's a great thing that he did. I can't speak for his wife's point of view, but I think it's not just a great thing, but it's necessary in order to kind of see what you've got, right? It's one thing to kind of beat up on the kids in your neighborhood on the court. It's another thing to kind of take your game on the road and show that you can play in any type of game. And physicality, trash talking, all those things are part of it. And I think you need to learn that sooner than later. Let me just say one more thing before I pass the rock. I also don't think that this is just an athletics question. One of the things, again, I mentioned my parents earlier. I kind of grew up in the middle class suburbs, but one of the things that I think still serves me well today, in terms of being very versatile, in terms of the type of people that I can be around. You can put me in the boardroom, you can put me in the barbershop, and I know how to navigate my way through. I think that's a function of my parents being intentional about making sure that even though I grew up this way, that ain't the way life goes, and I need to be around my people. I need to be where they are, and I need to learn how to compete at a high level. So I think it's broader than just sports, but I think you can do it very well if you're intentional about it through sports. So I commend him. But again, he's got to navigate his own family situation. But I don't think it's just a sports question. I think it's necessary, and I think you have to do it to give your kid a chance to be around all kinds of people. That's my 2 cents.
Man, I feel like it builds character. It
Yeah.
builds character, man. If everything is always given to you and you're beating up on the lesser kid, you're not going to always face that competition. And like you said, that's not only on the court or field, but what happens when you have to get in that boardroom or you have to go to that barbershop? Can you conduct yourself? We had a chance to play on level in baseball. I didn't feel like it was any good for him to play against. kids his age, because him hitting the ball to the fence and just running around the bases, that does them no good to even getting better. You know what I'm saying? So you have to put your kids in uncomfortable situations, because in life, there are going to be certain things it's going to be uncomfortable. Do you quit? Do you say, oh, I ain't playing against little Tommy from next door, so it's getting hard, I'm going to quit? No, I think it teaches character outside of the court, or that competition on the mat or wherever it may be. It helps you throughout life.
But
So I have
here's something. Let me jump in real quick. Here's something I think. Side eye me all you want. Sit down somewhere. Drink. Sip on your drink. Be quiet. Um, but here's something I think. I think where the wife is coming from. I don't think the wife even cares about the competition. I think the wife is coming from the low. I don't think the wife wants her, going to the hood, going to the projects to play ball. Um, but my thing is, like me myself, we reached a point in life where my son, we don't really have any more hood cousins. We don't have any more cousins who live in the project. So my son never really experienced that anymore, going to cousin house, sleeping 2, 3 in the bed. He ain't never experienced that. He done had a room to himself his whole life. So, but what I think I've done, I've put him in situations. He's played at some parks that, we had to make sure we left before it got dark. But I just wanted him to see that, and I want him to see that for reasons. I want him to see that so he could get a little tougher, get a little tougher himself, but also so he can understand the blessings that he has. He can understand that some kids gonna go to bed hungry tonight. He ain't gonna go to bed hungry. He ain't gonna have to worry about the lights not being on. So I think sometimes I think it's a good thing putting your kid in that situation. Now I don't think you should just go and leave them at the park and then you dip out and then I'll be back. But you're an adult. You should know how to handle yourself in tough situations. So let your kid experience a little
well,
bit of adversity or something different from where
here's
he's.
here's the thing for me, and I don't have children, but every parent wants their children to have it better than they did, right? Like our parents lived through what they lived through and set themselves up so we didn't have to go through what they went through. And those of us who are parents now want our kids to have, like Nikki said in the comments, I busted mine behind so my son doesn't have to. And so I feel like it's the sweet spot that you got to find, where you got to make them appreciative of what they have and recognizing that they didn't have to struggle. And these young people who want to get it out the mud, no, you ain't got to get it out the mud. Struggling does not make you a better person. And I put you in a place and giving you a vantage point where you can be successful from here versus way down here. But I don't think there's anything wrong with also wanting to make sure that you have a little bit of awareness about you and a little bit of, yeah, like I spent my summers in the hood. So I'm here with you. I'm not going to let you fall. I'm not going to let you fail. I'm here with you, but I'm trying to put you around a competition that's going to make you better. And I'm trying to make sure that you aren't soft, for lack of any better term, and playing with these suburban kids. Like, I want you to face tough competition. Now, what that looks like. And I think we can look at professional athletes who've been in those situations, right? Like, everybody looks at Paige and they're like, oh, Paige got a little hood in her because Paige spent her summers in the hood playing ball,
Mm-hmm.
and it shows. And she got a little bit of swag about her, and she gonna go out there and she gonna compete differently than somebody who's never had to compete in those circumstances.
She got a
And I
black
don't,
mama too, though.
well, stepmom, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think kind of that's right. I mean, it's really simple in my mind. I'm glad we're having the conversation. Like, it just depends on what kind of kid you want. I mean, we can just slow the game down and just ask that question. I mean, and everybody's got a different point of view on that. I can only speak for me personally. I want kids to understand that the way they grew up is not the way everybody else grew up. And I also want kids that have seen it and have been exposed to all different types of folks. I want them exposed to all different types of language, all different types of words. I don't want them to feel sheltered from the kind of things that are just kind of part of the culture. And it's my job to put them intentionally in positions where they have that exposure in a safe way. I mean, I feel like we don't need to spend any time on the fact that we want to make sure that our kids are safe. I feel like we should just skip that part. And I feel like, because that's just so obvious, it's a waste of time to talk about it. So I'm not talking about dropping them off. Of course, you want to, do it in an organic fashion. It sounds like he tried to do that, right? He stayed there the whole practice, watched them compete, and that's about as good as you can do, right? Things can happen anywhere, so it's not 100%, but it's the best measure you can take to make sure your kid's safe. And it sounds like that's what he did. But I also understand the point of view. Some people, leave the hood and they don't want to go back. I just wanted my kids to understand. And I think my parents did the same thing. My dad, for example, he didn't just start dropping me off in the hood. What he did was he put me in sports. He would stay around. We would practice and play in the hood. Then they would accept me, right, as an athlete who really could play. And then I developed friends. And then before you know it, that's just where I would be to hang out with my friends, right? So it was kind of a natural evolution. It wasn't just drop me off, here's some money, and watch the tires screech as he pulls off. It wasn't that at all. So, but everybody's got a different point of view, and I don't think there's a one size fits all. But for me, I just want my kids to be versatile, not just on the field and court of play, but just in life. And I don't know how else to do it other than giving them a shot. That's just, to me, it's pretty straightforward.
Starks, I feel like your kids got a I feel like your kids get a different take because you still ignorant as hell.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, they get it at home. Yeah.
They get it at home.
Look, you gotta give it to them at home. That's where it started. You give it to them at home, so when somebody else do it, you're like, oh, they ain't nothing. Shit, my daddy did worse than that.
Look,
my dad,
Starks boy be like, my daddy told me I wasn't ish. My daddy told me that looked terrible.
Yeah, and I grew up an only child, right? So like me and my parents are just so close, and so even though I've got two, it's kind of that same environment. Like we just like my thing is like we're gonna talk how we talk, and we're gonna keep it real. So like I don't really, and that's a good point, Kyle. I take that for granted because we only know our lives, right?
Yep.
It's a really good point. Like I don't think it's much of an adjustment for my kids in the hood than it is for me.
Because ain't nobody gonna talk more ish to arms than
that's
you.
A really good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Nobody gonna talk more ish to arms than you. Nobody.
But being a coach on both sides, I've coached in the richer side of town. I've taught and coached on the, everybody doesn't come from the silver spoon side of town. And I often see that they cross each other a lot because the richer kids, parents during the summer, they take them over to across the bridge to play and to teach their kids a little bit of culture and how it's really going to be. The other parents on the that may not have as much money take them on the other side to show them how that side is. So you, like you said, Starks, you can do it organically. You don't have to like take them and drop them off over in Red Bank. I ain't gonna take Messiah and drop him off in Red Bank, but I want him to know how to conduct himself when he's there or if he's around that type of person. And I'm not gonna take him and just drop him off at other places in Richland County, even though I'm from there, know everybody.
You might not take him down to Drew Park.
Not by himself. Not by himself. I gotta stay. Me and his mama gotta be there.
I'll give you an example, LeBron. You spot on. I'll give you an example, and I'll keep it short, but I'll tell a quick story. We knew somebody many years ago who had a young kid that went to a camp, black kid, black family, and a camp counselor kind of took a liking to him as a mentor, right? And liked this kid and was like, hey, whatever the camp was, kind of was like, I'm gonna look out for you. Well, the kid overheard that counselor say the N-word. And he might have even said it to the kid, like in a kind of in a casual way, right? Like,
a hard.
No, this was a black counselor. Let me be clear.
Okay.
That's a very good clarification. It was a black counselor. And look, and then what happened was the kid came home, told his black parents what happened. And the black parents kind of went and made a big deal about it and went to the camp I'm not sure exactly what happened. I don't want to make it up, but I'm sure there was some discipline on the counselor, right? Now, listen, let me be very clear. Camp counselors shouldn't be saying the N word, to kids at the camp. They shouldn't be doing it. But I felt like it was kind of a teaching moment that was missed, because that's a word that kid is no doubt going to have to hear in the community and in the culture down the road. And I feel like the first lesson was, maybe rightfully so, no one should ever say that. But I feel like you're creating a certain type of kid that's definitely not going to feel comfortable in certain environments, right? So this is a black kid, black counselor, black parents. Definitely not the right thing to do. I want to make sure everybody hears me. You shouldn't be saying that to that kid. But I also feel like, that's an opportunity. Maybe you pull them to the side and say, hey, listen, people say that we don't at home. We're not encouraging you to say that. But I don't know that it's a run to the camp counselor in every particular environment, or run to the administration, rather, in every environment to get somebody in trouble when you hear it. Like, I don't say that word, right? But my son, through playing sports, hears it. And I think I've said to him enough times, like, look, people use it, and like, that's just part of the culture. You can make a decision whether you're going to use that word when you're an adult or not. But I feel like you don't run to the administration or the higher ups every time you hear it. And that's an example of me trying to show him that there's a different way you have to move about the world that might be different than how you grow up, but you have to learn to adjust and adapt. Now, some people might disagree with what I'm saying. I'm not mad at them. I'm just saying, for me, I want my kids to be the kind that understand other people do things that don't pertain to them, and it doesn't mean you run to the police. And that's kind of the way I'm raising my kid.
This must be one of those camps you had to pay to go to, because I know every camp I went to growing up, free camp. That word was going around a lot.
But Sly, you hit the nail on the head, right? Like I just feel like I also don't want just the way that I grew up to necessarily be kind of the model for the way my kids have to grow up. I think there is a balance, right? It's a different day. But you're right, like the ability to be around different people who do things you don't do, and keep yourself safe and make your own adjustments, to me, is something that has to be taught. It's something that's learned. And I'm not judging parents who decide to do it differently. In my brain, that was just kind of a missed opportunity. But that's an example.
And you know what? Something else. I'm gonna read Trey Jackson's comment. He got a long comment.
Trey, what up, Trey?
The competition in sports used to be in the parks or outside. We became tough and played against grown-ups or tough competition at the local gym or in someone else's backyard drinking water out the faucet. Nowadays, it's so different. I know parents now that trying to give their kids stuff that they didn't get growing up. Now the kids are grown and disrespecting them and others. I feel like kids need to earn it and teach them the right way early, and don't wait until they are teenagers or ... Now, he brought up something else, and this is outside of the sports realm that I find myself running into. I find myself, when it comes to my son, wanting to get him stuff and buy him stuff because I didn't have it when I was a kid. Video games, certain video games and stuff like that. I know my parents couldn't afford it, so I'll get it. And I know my ex-wife, my son has more Jordans than anybody should ever have. I never owned a pair of Jordans until I actually brought my son some Jordans. And then they became our Jordans once he started wearing the size 13. They was our Jordans. So
y'all share underwear and Jordans. Got
it. Stop. Don't do that, brother guest. Stop that. But I think what we do, and I often wonder, am I helping my son or am I hurting him because he hadn't had to earn anything? And so now I'm trying to teach him, okay, some of this stuff you got to earn, you got to work hard to get some of this stuff, and it shouldn't be that easy. But when he was a child, when he was a little one, he's 16 now, but when he was a little one, it was like, whatever, you can have it, So, we go to the restaurant, and just the example, my mom took this religion course. She got a religious certificate or something, and we took out to dinner afterwards.
Certificate.
Yeah, it was some type of preacher certificate or something like that. I went there. I fell asleep during the ceremony.
Shout her
But
out. Shout her out. Yeah.
yeah, shout out to my mom. I got a block. She can't watch this. I say some wrong things. She can't watch it. But
Hey,
anyway,
Starks, I'm his mama's favorite member of the podcast.
favorite
I
member
bet.
by far.
I bet.
By
I
far.
bet.
But one thing I just found funny, me and my sister, we kind of laughed at when the waiter came around and asked everybody what they wanted to drink. Me, my mom, my sister, my wife, her husband, we all said water. Went to the kids, I want a Sprite, I want a chocolate milk. I want, what I'm saying? They had real drinks. Growing up, I drank water. I went out to eat, we drank water, all that other stuff caused extra. So it's just like, wow. They don't understand. It's like a completely different world. And I wonder, am I helping them or hurting them by doing this all the time? So,
I think you strike a good balance, Sly. I think you're tough on him, but when he earn it or he does well, you reward him. I don't think it's just give, give, give. It's
yeah,
just a balance. Like I think Stark said, you got to find that sweet spot that or Shauna may have that happy medium. You can't just give, but you can't just be a stone wall either because you're still teaching. So, I'm gonna give mine as long as he's doing well or they're doing well, they're earning it. Hey,
yeah. So I don't know, man. It's
come on, Cook.
it's an interesting balance, man. It's an interesting balance. And then I think Al talked about something a little bit earlier, something different. Al just said that's why Columbia High was so special. We had enough white people to teach us to deal with them, but enough black people to keep our essence. So that was that's something else.
Well
That's
said.
something
That
else
is
Hey,
special.
to you, Big Al.
what class Al came out in?
Don't do this.
98.
Don't do this.
98, making it great in 98. Let's
There
go.
you go. There
He's
you
Let's
go.
go.
another
Big
loser.
Al.
Another loser, but it's all good.
Y'all ain't have but one winner, and I hung
Hey.
out with him this weekend.
Hey, whoa. Don't tell that tale. We
You
set the
only had
stage.
one.
We set the
We
stage.
You only had. Let's stay on topic. We'll talk about this afterwards.
Don't do
But
this.
technically, our one winner kind of dwarf all y'all together. Our one winner is
I wasn't talking about him. He wore
Let's stop talking about my man.
a sweater.
Get the story together.
No, he wore that sweater that everybody talk about, so he wasn't that cool.
An Argyle sweater. Get
I
out of
was
here.
talking about Ike. I was talking about Ike. That's the only one of y'all had. Y'all
Don't
was
do this.
losers, except for Ike and Cobb. I'm
See,
sorry,
Man,
Marcia.
this podcast is really teaching me a lot. Sly, that's why your skin glowing like that. You ain't had a soda till you was like 22, 23 years old. You know what I'm saying? That's why you probably licked the top of the can when you got one, man. You ain't know what to
bro.
That fool don't have no acne, no soda bubble. All he drank was water.
The boy went a quarter century without a soda, man.
Hey, look,
because he couldn't afford it.
Hey,
that fool had to drink water and not have cable. God, that's a hard dog.
Hey, I'm learning a lot, man. That boy disciplined and something, ain't it?
yes.
Hey, he said everything but miss a meal. He ain't missed no meal.
He missed everything but a meal.
Everything. He ain't missed no meal. You can look at that neck. You can tell that fool ate.
Oh God.
Shout out to my bestie out there. See you out there, Norcia. We appreciate you. I thought Pepe muted y'all.
Starks. Norcia said hi, Stephen, to you, Starks. Norcia.
What up, Norcia with a K? What up, Norcia? Norcia?
Don't do my bestie.
Stop talking about my bestie.
Nikki, man. I miss Norcia.
Nikki Bates Davis said, my son had to earn all big purchases. He's had a job since he was 15, been paying for his car insurance and essential things like that since he was 16. Dutch what was the perfect environment for. Wow, you mean.
Yeah, that's too much.
You a mean rich person.
Yeah,
I
taking
didn't
it
pay.
too
I
far.
didn't pay my own insurance till I got my first job after grad school. Let's be clear.
Respect, Miss Davis, but that's a lot. You doing a whole lot. Like
Yeah, she making up for it.
He's serious business.
Hey,
That's discipline. He gonna be disciplined.
hey, she said I might not take him to the hood, but he gonna pay this car insurance. He gonna get that.
He ain't going to snatch home.
Hey, no, that's great. That's actually great.
See, he ain't going to SHP, but he gonna get that car note paid, and he better have a job. But I like that though. You have to
Yeah, I
teach
do
him
too.
a lot of
But
things.
this is also interesting what D. Nicole Bates Davis said. I busted my ass so my son wouldn't have to deal with hood shit. I taken him to where I come from on numerous occasions to remind him how blessed he is. That's another thing that kind of shows you how rich D. Nicole Bates Davis is, because she took her son all the way to Japan. Because I don't know if you know, Star. She's from Japan.
Oh, that's fire.
She grew up in Japan.
She claims to be from Saxon Holmes, but she's really from Saxon Holmes. She's really from Japan.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So Al says not to be religious, but the Bible says train a child. He has girls. That's a tough conversation that doesn't apply as much. I feel like we have a letter that kind of plays to this too.
Okay.
Do we want to get that letter, or are we gonna tease that letter and get it next week?
I don't know. We already have 46 minutes.
We have 46 minutes. We're gonna put it on y'all. We gonna put the letter out there.
What y'all think?
Let's go on ahead and do it. Here we
Might
go.
as well. Yeah.
Might as well.
Part one of the letter.
All right, I got you. Pepe got it up there. So Al just teed it up. So we might as well read this letter because it kind of flows. So I have a problem and I need y'all advice. I consider myself a damn good father and I'm active as the courts and my baby mama allows. I get my daughter every other weekend and pay my child support as I'm supposed to. Although I am behind $300 over 12 years. That ain't bad. $300 over 12 years. I've been texting my daughter over the last 2 years and I'm constantly left on red. Yo, ain't nothing more disrespectful than being left on red. Let's be clear. And I do it on purpose. So like that's a mug. Last week I asked her why she never responds to me when I text her, and her reply was, Daddy, my mama checks my phone and told me she didn't buy me a phone to be texting you. Ooh, I asked her why. My family is pissed off and wants me to say something, but I'm not. But I'm trying to not let it bother me. What do y'all think are my options?
Do you own a shovel?
Did you say do you own a shovel? I cannot with you.
You own a shovel.
I can't.
Go on ahead and get rid of the baby mama. Now, here's my thing, and this is what I tell all men when you have baby mama issues, baby mama drama. Go to court. Go to court. Because you can sit up here and talk till you blue in your face. You can do all this back and forth, but go to court. Go to court and get custody. Fight for custody. If you can't get custody, get something written down on paper. So I was having this conversation with my wife, and my wife was kind of funny with it. She was saying, you either buy her a phone, but if you buy her a phone, the mama still can say, if you in my house, you're not gonna do anything in my house. The mama can still say that. So what you need to do, you need to make sure stuff is written down on paper in a courthouse. In my divorce decree, it is written down that I have the right to speak to my son and talk to my son up until whatever chosen bedtime he has. So now, even though me and my ex-wife, we don't have that issue. We don't have that issue. Because my son has a phone and he calls me on the phone, I call him. We don't have that issue. But if that was ever a case, it is written down in the court document that I have that right. So,
Sharon, we said stop asking my chance. He's still around.
Oh, Damon. Damon just gave us some stars. We appreciate you. We appreciate you, Damon.
DJ D2 did.
DJ D2 gave us some stars.
Yeah, we appreciate that. He's a dope DJ, man. That's Damon's son.
We go ahead and even put the daughter banner up there for you. Because we support.
It's really unfortunate that this child is of this age and there's still this issue between the parents. Like that's so unfortunate to me.
I could not imagine. I'm glad I'm not in that situation. I couldn't imagine having that and just having to sleep with that every day. You know your child is reading your message and can't even reply. God, boy. I said like Sly, just go to court because that's a battle you're really not going to win in public opinion. Because she's shown that she don't care what the public really thinks. Go to court. I know it may be you have to take off your job or maybe a little bit of an inconvenience, but if it means that much to you, you have to fight that in court, and whatever length of time it takes, it just takes. But I hate that you're in that situation because I know how much I love mine.
Now this is interesting right here. D. Nicole Bates Davis just said that's not bad at all. My son is 27 and still receiving child support.
Yeah.
The father was so far behind when my husband adopted him. My husband adopted him when he was in the 4th grade. Now, I thought if somebody else adopted the kid, then all the child support was over. I guess I'm not a lawyer.
Well, you need to add, let's pose that question to Miss D. Nicole Bates.
Yeah, but
you don't know.
I guess not.
I mean, 27 and child support. At some point, I will feel good about receiving child support at 27, man. I might call him up like, you know what, my boy? You are.
He's old that.
You know what, my boy? We good. I might just call Pops up and be like, I'm gonna tell you what, my guy. I don't feel good driving over here to pick this up.
We good.
Yeah, 27 crazy, man. You and your wife going to the mailbox and get that. You know what I'm saying? I feel it though. That's just not where I'm at. I'll be like, you got it, Pop. You got it, man.
Check this out. It might be a slot situation. That might be the difference in drinking water and drinking Sprite.
No.
But at 27, man, give me the water. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we at. But I understand the point, man. All jokes aside, you know.
I feel like again, this child is old enough where we shouldn't still be in this space.
You mean where you back to the 12-year-old?
Yeah, the letter. Like, why are we still in this space where like I don't know, it seems real petty to me. And I can be petty, so I acknowledge that, but it just
you're right. You know, Cobb, the thing about these situations is like, you know, we just looking at the letter and we're just asked to respond to the letter.
You're right.
But like it'd be so much more that might not be, you know, factored into this situation that we just don't know. You know what I mean? The mom might have all kinds of reasons that are clearly not articulated in the letter for why this is happening. So I just want to make that point to maybe give her grace in that particular situation, because you just never know all the factors. You know, I'll tell you what, a guy I smoke cigars with called me one night and, you know, he just wanted to vent. And I don't know this guy very well. I've only been in Texas 4 years, and I probably met him, you know, 2 years after being here. And so he called me one day and was just talking about all the problems he and his baby mama were having. And he took an interesting spin. His daughter was like 9 or 10. I can't remember which one. And he was like, I'm tired of calling her up, man, and her taking her mama aside every time we talk. He was like, so last night I told her, I tell you what, I'm getting ready to be done with you and your mama. You know what I'm saying? He was like, and his position was at 9 or 10, you ought to be able to say, like, I want to be on daddy, like I want to hang with daddy, like I want every now and then I ought to see a little bit more balanced approach from you, man. And he wasn't really getting it. And when I tell you, I was in my backyard screaming when he was telling me. He was like, you know what? He was like, I told her, man, I'm about to be done with you and your mom. Like honestly, he was like, because you don't never call me like daddy. You don't even ask the question. Like you just assume what she's saying is the gospel, and if that's where you at, then ride Team Mama. And so, all jokes aside, man, I feel like this is a petty situation. We don't know the whole story, but I also think it's frustrating that maybe the 12-year-old ought to be like, nah, mom, I really want to talk to dad, and maybe that would have a little traction. What y'all think about that?
Yo, that's crazy that he told a 10-year-old, I'm about to be done with you and you.
Yeah, he was sick of it. You know what I'm saying, Kyle? He was tired of her.
I'm sick of y'all.
Yeah, both of y'all. How about that?
But I see what Shauna's saying, or what you're saying about maybe the kid needs to go ahead and see. It's hard though if you the kid and you living with that mom. It's hard for that kid to say, "Screw it, mom. I want to talk to my daddy. You can't stop me." That takes it depends on the kid. You gotta be a pretty bold kid to be that kid, and so that's why you can't put that type of pressure on the kid to make that decision. That's why I say you make that decision. You know, and me being a black man, I don't want no brother to go to court. You might go in there for child support. Might say you fit the description.
They get you on 2 warrants.
Yeah, you might not make it out just because you fit the description or something. So, but sometimes, man, you gotta let the white man handle it. You gotta let the white man handle it. It's messed up, but it is what it is. It is what it is, man. It's no justifying a mom saying that the child can't text back the dad. It's no justification whatsoever in that. Maybe you can justify not calling back because it's too late or something like that. But a simple text back is no justification in saying you can't text somebody back. That's just that.
Leaving somebody on red is so disrespectful.
Yeah, especially your dad, boy. I mean, but in that case, what do you do? Like
nothing.
There's really nothing you can do. I just hate that. Like I said, anybody has to go through that, especially a brother. But I wonder what's the backstory with this.
Because it always is 2 sides of the story. It's 2 sides of the story.
That's what I'm trying to say.
It's 3 sides. Your side, their side, and the truth. Somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. So I would like to know the backstory, but we probably will never find out. But I just think you just have to go to the courts and get it done. That's just it.
Yeah. So, but hopefully, we got a little bit of advice from us, man. I think we kind of all at agreement. Go to court.
Nikki D. Nicole Bates said, "No, that's alienation of affection."
You're using big words. Come on, GD section.
I don't even know what that means.
Slow it down. So slow it down. We're not all lawyers. We're not all lawyers here. But yeah, man.
Can you break that down for Slide? What does alienation of affection mean?
I'm a lawyer and I don't even know what that means. So, no, I mean I get what it means, just based on the words, but I don't know.
I did watch Alienation growing up.
The people with the big heads.
Yeah, with the big old heads.
That scared me, for real.
Yeah. But hopefully, man, you can get everything. Damon with the Alienation was a TV show. Yep, it was.
They had them. It was scary.
Yeah, but hopefully, man, you can go to court, because I think the idea of talking to her, talking to the mom, is probably out the question by now. That
it doesn't appear as if our letter can talk to the mom. Which is unfortunate because, again, this child is, I believe the letter said 12 years old, which means they've been there 12 years that you've been dealing with this woman. And it's unfortunate that you all can't have a conversation and that between the two of you, they're still harbored ill feelings. Like, that's unfortunate. No, like, it doesn't sound like the mom's thinking of the best interest of the child. Like, a girl child needs her dad. Period. Full stop.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
Man,
sound like
that's why I say we just don't know. I mean, you just never know all the whole backstory. Now, you're right. I hear you. I
Because
mean, based on what we have, the information we have, I think we all on the same page. But I just want to give grace to the mama because we just never know where she coming from.
Yep.
you definitely don't want to deal with a girl with daddy issue. I've been through that. I've been through that path a couple times.
You've had enough of those.
I've been through, done been through that a couple of times. They wild, but damn, they wild. So there you go. There you go, man. Hey, it's about that time, man. It's about that time for us to take a walk. We like to take a walk down our favorite block, the 90s block. And right now, what we do when we walk down the 90s block, and we pick something from the 1990s, and then we kind of talk about it, man. The greatest decade ever, the 1990s. S.com. What are we going to do for the 90s block?
So, to acknowledge and to pay homage to our fallen brother, Malcolm Jamal Warner, we're going to actually explore our favorite Theo moments in The Cosby Show. So, think about the years of The Cosby Show and what are your favorite Theo moments in the 90s block?
That's a tough one, man. I'm gonna kick it off, man. I'm gonna kick it off because I'm gonna do. Cause I think everybody gonna do same. Everybody gonna do same one. So I'm gonna do something different. My favorite one was when he was singing the Ray Charles song. When he was coming down the stairs, I think that was my favorite.
Only nighttime.
Night and day.
Oh, it's the right time.
That was my favorite Theo moment from the Cosby Show.
Hey, so you stole mine, man. That's the one I was gonna say. Him and Rudy now.
So
That's what I was gonna say.
Well,
So,
great minds.
I
That's my
actually think mine was not. It wasn't actually in the 90s. It was one of the early episodes, which is the late 80s, when he got his ear pierced. And him and Cliff are on the bed and they doing this. He's trying not to let him see his ear piercing, as Al said. And he's like this, and then they do this, and they do. Yo, that episode is hilarious.
Oh yeah. Donquetta said when they treated him like an adult. Yeah, when he had the
that was a good one. I remember that one. Yeah, that was a good one.
What about you, Star?
I might not have the specifics, the details right the way y'all have on y'all episodes, but I'm gonna try to do my best to bring it back full circle to the first topic we discussed today in the letter. I feel like there was an episode where he had to stand tall against a bully, like a street dude.
The dude with the weed in his book.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so,
the weed in his book.
My job is to bring it back to what we one of the topics we discussed in this pod. And I feel like Malcolm Jamal Warner was a walking image of having to kind of navigate kind of the difference between being raised a suburban kid and trying to be exposed to different elements. And I feel like that element, or that episode rather, was trying to convey that point. And so I'm gonna tie it back into the episode. I think that was a good one.
Oh yeah, man. You can't go wrong, man. That's one thing about the Cosby Show. The Cosby Show is just so great. It's so many great moments from the Cosby Show. It is hard to go wrong with the Cosby Show, man. And oh man, it was a real sad moment for me, man, when I found out that Malcolm Jamal Warner passed. It was a tough moment, man, because I just started instantly getting so many images flooded back. Look at the Gordon Gartrell shirt. Gordon Gartrell.
My socks.
I tell you what, though, he was so good in his role. It took me a long time to realize his real name wasn't Theo. It was Malcolm Jamal Warner, because I was like, Theo. But nah, man, he really embodied that role, man. Like Shauna was saying earlier, it just brings back to that black family.
Legit was like we lost a cousin or a brother, because we all, and he wasn't a great athlete. Remember, he played football and he had like a touchdown, but he wasn't that good. And he wasn't like super nerdy, and he was just like the dude that the girls could be like, oh, he's cute, and Theo is that guy, and the dudes were like, I ain't super athletic, I might not read well. Remember, he had dyslexia, and it wasn't discovered until he was in college. And then folks were like, dang, like I read slowly too. Like maybe I process differently like Theo. And it legit felt like we lost a cousin or brother or somebody who was in our family because we all grew up with him. Like it legit felt like that.
And
Well
he had
said.
that
Well
homeboy cockroach. And he had old cockroach with him.
Yeah,
That
cockroach.
with him. So
Look, Al said his middle name was Aloysius. His name was Theodore Aloysius Huxtable. Sure was.
Aloysius.
Man. Oh man. Tough one, man. But we're gonna close the show out, man. Pardon shots, man. Pardon shots. LBZ, you got anything to say before we get out of here?
Man, I just want to shout out to the kids that's not necessarily getting it out the mud, but that's out there working hard, man, and trying to be better than they were today. So, and with that being said, get ready to come back to school with positive attitudes. If not, I'm bringing out that ruler. The ruler's back.
Uh-oh.
The ruler's back.
S. Commas. S. Commas. You got anything to say before we get out of here?
Love on your people. Make sure you reach out to your folks. If you're thinking about somebody, reach out to them. Let them know you love them. You're thinking about them. Life is fleeting, so just make sure you're checking in on your people.
That's right.
And our friend of the show, Mr. Starks. You got anything to say before we get out of here?
Nah, similar to Kyle, love on your folks and take care of your people. And go to the doctor. Please go get your wellness checks. Make sure you stay ahead of all the scheduled, med visits. Take care of yourself. Health is wealth. And so take care of it.
All right. This is the Rip 28 podcast. This is a podcast where a few friends get together and we talk about a few things. Some of those things you might like, some of those things you might not like. But we keep on talking about them on the Rip 28 podcast. And I would like to make a public service announcement. I don't know how this has been going around or it's got out there, but it's been said that I have a problem with big women and big girls. I don't like big girls. I don't know how that got out there. But I would like to let everybody know that it's nothing wrong with a big girls. They're kind of like mopeds. It's fun to ride. You just don't want nobody to see you riding one. We'll see you next week on the Rip 28 podcast.
What an idiot.
Jamming on the one. Jamming on the one. Jamming on the one.